Hey guys, what's going on? Frank Rich here at Rebuilt Recovery. And in today's video, I want to talk to you about the fact that pornography is the ultimate weapon of instant gratification. And I want to tell you what you're actually doing and how you're conditioning yourself and how you're training habits and routines and behaviors, and ultimately maybe shine some light on what could potentially happen if you do not learn to take back control of your behavior. Quit porn, reboot your brain, become the man that you were created to be. But before we jump into today's video, guys, just remind you who we are and what we do here. My name is Frank Rich, CEO, founder, and head coach at Rebuilt Recovery, and it is our mission to help men break free from the shackles of porn addiction through the power of faith and fitness. Now, we do that in a handful of different ways. First off, right here on the Rebuild Your Life YouTube channel, we are releasing new videos every single day, Monday through Friday at this point. So if you're new to the channel and haven't done so yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button right there, and also turn those post notifications on so you are notified every single time a new video is released. And secondly, for you guys in the early stage of trying to identify all the ways in which porn has had a negative impact on your life, you're curious about what life can look like for you once you've been able to remove this destructive habit out of your life, make sure to download our free ebook. It's the 7-step guide to living life without porn, where I walk you through the exact process that we use with our students and clients here on how to identify all the ways in which porn is negatively impacting your life, how to then take that and build a proactive plan to get you out of the depths of this addiction and stepping into the life that you were created to live. But most importantly, what do you need to do to hold yourself accountable? What do you need to do to build up the discipline, build up the willpower, and actually execute upon your plan every single day, take back control of your life, and become the man that you were created to be? So that's a 7-step guide to living life without porn. I'm gonna link it down there in the first pinned comment below. So that's today's video, guys. If you haven't done so yet, make sure to visit that page and download the book. But let's get back to today's video, guys. Instant gratification. How is pornography the ultimate weapon of instant gratification? And what are you conditioning and what are you training yourself to do and live and how to operate by this compulsive and destructive habit that you keep participating in? So here's the first thing we need to understand is let's take a step back and let's understand what we're actually doing when we go look at pornography. We think that we're replacing sex. We think that we're replacing relationships. We think that we're replacing the lack of an intimate partner in our life. But in fact, that is not the case, because our brain does not correlate pornography, the act of watching and consuming people participating in the act of sex, with the same behavior of an intimate relationship. Two different parts of your brain are firing. So while you may think that's what you're going to do, what your body is conditioning and training itself is not the case. Okay, this is a behavior where you're running from something. So think about the times when you're consuming pornography. Maybe now it feels like it's an addiction. Maybe it feels like you need it just to live and operate. And if you're at that point, brother, I want you to reach out to me and let's get on a call and let's talk about getting you into some type of program. But ultimately, typically what ends up happening is something has occurred in our day, in our life, or in a moment's time. There's been a trigger where we feel like we can't deal with reality. I shot an entire video on how you keep escaping reality to go look at pornography. So there's something that's happened in our life, whether it's a rejection, whether it's a stressful situation, whether it's an anger moment, whatever the case, there's a moment in time where there's been a trigger and there's a response. And our response is, I can't deal with the way that this makes me feel right now. I can't deal with the anxiety. I can't deal with the stress. I can't deal with the fear. I can't deal with the anger, whatever emotion you want to attach to it. You are unwilling to process that, and you don't have the tools readily available for you to take back control, bring your heart rate down, take control of your autonomic nervous system out of a fight or flight response into a rest or digest. So your response, because you've conditioned yourself, is I need to go through a release. I need to go get a hit of dopamine, and I need to feel like I'm getting this release through my body. So if we can understand that we're escaping something in our real time, real life, and our cure for it is instant gratification, instant pleasure. I think pornography is one of the most selfish things that we can participate in. We are consuming other individuals, the acts that other people are doing, either willingly or unwillingly, for our own selfish desires, for our own selfish pleasures, for our own selfish instant gratification. Now, so if we can understand by stepping back and realize that that is actually what's taken place, then we can take the next step deeper and understand, how are we conditioning ourselves? Okay, if little things in our life, an anger moment, a stressful response, a rejection from our spouse, a rejection from a girl, whatever the case, if something very minute causes us to run and seek instant gratification, well, how are we going to be able to pursue anything great in our life? How are we going to be able to endure suffering and struggle to create a life that is meaningful, to create a life that has purpose, to create a life that has impact on other people? So while you may think that it's a harmless activity that I'm participating in, while you may think that there's no major end result of this, you have to realize that when you begin to condition yourself to seek out instant gratification, you are basically wiring yourself to never be willing to do the challenging things. You know, there was a great study done in the late 70s by Walter Mischel at Stanford University, and it was called the Marshmallow Test. There's a book sitting right on my shelf behind me titled The Marshmallow Test. What they did is they had young kids, infants, 4 or 5 years old, and they had them all sitting in a classroom, and they put a marshmallow in front of each one of them sitting on the desk. And the researchers left the room. Before the researchers left the room, they gave the kids the option. They said, you can eat this marshmallow right now. You can have it. Amazing. Yours. You can have this one marshmallow if you want it. If you can wait, though, if you can delay gratification, when we return, we will give you 2 marshmallows. And I don't remember the exact statistics, but half of them consumed the 1 marshmallow. The other half were able to delay the gratification and then ultimately get 2. Now, what they did is they followed these children for the next 20 to 30 years. And what they noticed is the ones that when they were children were able to delay gratification, the ones that when they were small children knew that if I can take this now and get a small pleasure, or I could wait and I could get double the pleasure. Those that were able to delay gratification, not give in to the short-term instant gratification, they went on to have higher success rates in school, higher success rates in university, and ultimately went on to be more successful in their lives, in careers as an adult. So realize that what you're doing when you're watching pornography, you're eating the first marshmallow, not willing to wait for the second marshmallow. If you could learn some tools, if you could learn real-time strategies of when I'm triggered, what can I do? How can I take control of my thoughts? How can I bring my autonomic nervous system down? How can I learn to control my breathing? How can I learn to control my heart rate? If you could not eat the marshmallow, quote unquote, watch the pornography, how much stronger of a man are you going to be to face the rest of the life's challenges that you're going to endure? Because whether you're 18, 28, 38, 48, you have a long time left on this planet. And I can tell you that if you're pursuing a life, if you're pursuing something of meaning, if you're pursuing something of creating value in the world, you will be faced with adversity. You will be faced with challenge. So if you could begin to look at this as this is not just something that I'm doing and it's porn and it's harming my brain, but I'm literally conditioning myself to always seek out the easy, simple path. And once you can adopt that and you can begin to learn the tools, whether it's the tools that we teach you in the 7-step guide, the tools that we have built into our coaching curriculum here, when you can learn to adapt those principles in real time, what do I do when I'm triggered? How do I delay gratification? How do I set a vision for my life? How do I break that vision down to create a plan that I need to execute upon today, tomorrow, the following week, and the following month? When you can learn to do that, brother, you become unstoppable. This is what we talk about when we talk about rebooting your life and becoming the man that you were created to be. Literally meaning that we're going to give you the tools to develop a life that is so meaningful that you will not ever think that porn is something that's desirable. We're going to rewire, give you back control of your brain, but we're also going to help you create the life that you want to live and give you the tools, tactics, and strategies to do that. Brother, I really hope that this video spoke to you. I hope that it maybe brought a different level of insight into how you're viewing this and how you're viewing your behavior. If it did, do me 2 things. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet, but also comment down below. What's your big takeaway from today's video, guys? How are you going to start to implement some of this into your life? And like I said, guys, if you haven't done so yet, make sure to download the 7-step guide. I'd love to hear from you, whether down in the comments or in my email. I'm Frank Rich from Ebook Recovery. I'll see you guys on the other side.